Okay, so today is the 20th, which means I am late on the next meta staples, and the last one was September 14th when SS3 was not banned. We had a lot of different things going on, and we were going into Huragan and blue yellow, etc, etc. And I know I'm late on this one, but I definitely want to go through it, and I definitely want to go ahead and talk through all of the new meta staples, or at least the things that you're going to be seeing within the next week until set 5, because today I do believe is the last regional, or second to last, or whatever, in Texas for Core TCG before nationals. And not only that we do have the release, or the shop championships coming out as far as this Saturday, or the Saturday today, and as well as the Saturday on next Saturday. So if you haven't had your shop championships for set 4, they're coming, and hopefully this is gonna help you a little bit. And the last thing I really want to make a comparison to is the before and after this SS3 ban. If you haven't seen the leader breakdown that I did before, go check that out. I'll put it in the link in the description, or a little thing here, whatever. It's just a huge difference. It's been very diverse. If you haven't been in it and you just watch these kind of videos, or the meta videos, that's what's happening. And really, this is the last months. Again, you can go watch that video and see the difference of it. The reason why I'm making these videos is so we can see the differences between metas, and as well as sets in between. We're gonna have a lot of different cards coming out within now and set 6 and beyond, basically, and I'm more than happy to go over those. So right now I have the leader as SS3. That was pretty much the dominant leader for that time period, or at least for September 14th. And as well as some of these cards are really catered towards Super Saiyan 3 Goku, like Unbreakable, Raging Spirit Son Gohan, the obviously Unyielding, the Legendary Flute when it wasn't banned or wasn't restricted, etc, etc, Sensu Bean, certain cards that you just really couldn't play at a high cost because they were so restrictive, or it was so energy intensive. Then we got Kefla, etc, etc, and all these yellow cards like Goten, Returning Terror, all of that for blue yellow. Now if we look at the 20th, or at least as of today, for me, the meta staples, and I may have missed a couple of them, but I think these are the main sort of cards to me. Now the immediate thing is that we switched over to Hercule, and the thing was that Super Saiyan 3 was supposed to be there to combat blue yellow Huragan, and Huragan was a monster. He still kind of is. Like, if you aren't prepared for it, if your deck isn't set up that way, it is a little bit hard to get around that. But at the same time, Super Saiyan 3, for his defensive untap 3, was supposed to help against that. Now Hercule kind of put his way in, or put his head into everything, and sort of dominated the last 3 main regionals, which was Vegas, the AC, both Saturday and Sunday, and both of those had a lot of different Hercules. I think over 8 in both of the top 32, or at least top 16, I do believe, or over half basically. So Hercule, because of his combo, if you didn't know, every time that he combos, he has an activate battle. You can choose to activate it or not, to combo and then draw a card right after. And because of that, every single time that you draw a card, especially in tandem with the Unbreakable, Ubuni, the new Villainly Cell, Villainly Evil, whatever it's called, the Unbreakable Green, basically, you would draw 2 cards. And because of that, it is really hard to get around Hercule when you're playing against Storm. You're just pitching cards, trying to get around his 10k or 5k or whatever, and that just made it difficult for them, for Huragan swap, and a lot of other different cards that didn't have anything to kind of combat that and get around Hercule and his comboing power and his draw power. That's why he's so dominant right now, and you're gonna be seeing this in most likely in Texas, and as well as your shop championships. Because of that, he's just so hard to get around. But there are ways to get around. I mean, I wanted to make a video on it, but I think it's a little too late. If you haven't checked out Peter Catania's on Pro Play Games, go check that out. It's pretty good information. I wouldn't say it's bad. But the main thing for Hercule is just focus on his board and see if you can get to his life without getting to him, basically. So Buhan and Cell Chain, making sure to keep his hand low, clearing his board, like I said, etc, etc. Those type of things really kind of hurt Hercule, and if I went into in depth, I think it would be a little difficult with time. But he's not unbeatable. If you have any suggestions or if you have anything, definitely comment below and let me know. Maybe after Texas, and that'll be a little bit better. Anyway, so let's go through the whole list and see the differences. So the main differences are obviously the World Tournament. A lot of people were saying that World Tournament wasn't going to do too much. It looked boring. It didn't look too good. And then Hercule topped the event. So I mean, won the event in first place. And then every other deck has been utilizing some of the stuff from World Tournament. One of the biggest cards for World Tournament leaders was Play Pro, in which which acted as a counter, which is a colorless counter, by the way. So you can use any energy for any World Tournament leader to negate the attack, and then which doesn't require it itself for a World Tournament leader. If there are two other World Tournament cards on the battle area, you get to draw 2 cards after you play it, which for Texas Strength Goku and Oob. For all the other parable cards, the other announcer, which searches the top 7, which I don't think is really a staple, but I think it is a staple for any like Play Pro is a staple for any World Tournament leader. The top 7 is still pretty good. I mean, if you're focusing on World Tournament. Anyway, so this is a very versatile card, and for hand advantage and defense, really good. Time Control Cronoa. So the reason why she wasn't in this one is because yellow leaders weren't really running around. There are a couple of them, like Mecha Frieza variants, going around trying to use Shigesh and veggies and stuff like that, but it wasn't too popular. What was popular and what was winning was Huragan and Super Saiyan 3. You know, Frieza and other yellow leaders it was kind of hard to get around that. With now, with Shigesh and Goku and Oob, with veggies, with everything else, especially in best of ones or the first round, Shigesh is still kind of a thing for a lot of different leaders. Golden Frieza, Galactic Frieza, Mecha Frieza, maybe even getting you other variants like that are kind of running around, and Cronoa in your sideboard is going to be really detrimental. Not only in this current meta, but going into set 5 for this. And if you didn't know, it just negates the effect of playing battle cards with the super combo, i.e. Shigesh, Pan, whatever. So there you go. Masking is still there because it is still pretty relevant to clear a board, especially with announcer, the low 1 drops, Pan, Texas Strength Goku, the Trunks for the awkward situation, etc, just to make sure that you have that board clear and it's simple and easy. 1 energy, 5 overwhelm, clear up to 5 and double strike. So that's really good. Mirror, the created absorbed, really good end gamer or game finisher or whatever. The only thing is really susceptible to is counters, but with even blue yellow Huragan and other variants with battering, it's a no-brainer to keep him in there, and as well as go for double strike with Champa or West Kai, or East Kai, I mean. Science Fu, still one of the best, if not the best overwhelm card in the game. Draw 2, 7 overwhelm 1. And now the newest black card in the meta staples is Demigra. If you haven't checked out the Jackie Joel deck way back when, I posted it like 2 or 3 weeks ago, or I don't know. It's Joel's deck, you know, it's just like right now with the World Tournament leaders, you're going to be seeing Demigra. Like if they have 7 in their drop and as well as 5 energy open, you're either going to be expecting this card or the SCR World Tournament card. The SCR World Tournament card isn't really a staple to me right now because Demigra is probably going to be the better choice when it comes to choosing a secret or ultimate card. And this is simply because he has triple strike, 40k, and then when he attacks, they reveal their hand and choose up to 4 battle cards to combo. Even if they get negated, they still have to drop those 4 battle cards, which could be super combos, which could be detrimental pieces later in the game to end the game, whatever, right? This in tandem with Zeno button, which isn't on here but should be, is really good. So you pay the 5 energy, you swing, reveal the hand and 4 battle cards, and then they combo with it. or you combo with it and then you Zeno button right after. So I mean, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy that this is a thing, but not surprising after going doing that deck profile and going through and playtesting it and using it, etc, etc. So with the Play Pro, the Announcer, Cronoa, Mighty Skilly Zone, all these other ones are super good in that that is really just like a staple basically. So I mean, it just makes sense to run Demigra, and I made a whole video why he got doubled in price before. If check that out if you haven't already, and as well as going to set 5 with all the black cards. It just makes sense. Like I said, it just makes sense. Legendary Flute shouldn't be on here, so I should actually remove that for Zeno button. So just think of that as Zeno button. Flute is still cool as a one of. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. If you're blue leader and you run a lot of low drops, 3 or less, this can be clutch to get an extra card and as well as to play it. So I wouldn't say it's not a staple. Senzu Bean, probably the best blue card right now if you're going to be playing blue and your leader's not a blue card, or yeah, a blue card, a blue leader outside of Mafuba. It's still really good against 1/2 swap. It's still really good for untapping energy. It's still really good for defense for any other reason. So I mean, it's really it's a no-brainer. If you don't have a playset for this, you're just doing it wrong. And I don't think this card is going to be like, it's gonna go away anytime soon, even in going to set 6, right? Unless there's a power creep for Senzu Bean, which would be stupid. That would just be a dumb thing to do. I know there's Dimension Magic, but that's completely different. You don't counter. This is an activate battle. You make sure to get it for the duration of a turn. Untapping energy, those two things are gonna be kind of different, separated. On Awakening Talent Pan, so like Soul Striker, Mono Blue, Soul Striker, green, blue, obviously Hercule, obviously Jackie Joel, obviously any World Tournament deck, that sort of thing, is going to be playing this card. And it's very important to be playing this card to awaken, because when it attacks, you choose 1 card from your life, add it to your hand, and it gains 10k, so 15k for anything. And most of the time, when something's in rest mode, it's going to be attacking that, so that way you don't give a card to their hand after their life taken, and that way they have to waste cards. And obviously you can tell, because this doesn't have any kind of World Tournament cards, it is not here. So I mean, with the addition of Pan and as well as all these other 1-drops, it makes life a lot easier. And I think every single color, including black, now going to set 5 with the black Dark Max Saiyan, or yeah, the Dark Power Max Saiyan, it's just good. It's just good for Self-Awakening. I mean, I think still Self-Awakening isn't that great nowadays, but it's still good to have. It's still good to have one method. Unyielding Spirit Trunks, people still are a little bit iffy about this card. You combo, and if your leader card is blue, you choose 1 to active mode. It's still really detrimental to continue plays. I don't think this should be banned because it would hurt aggro, which aggro kind of checks a lot of different archetypes and there's a lot of different play styles. So Unyielding Spirit Trunks, I don't think is a really good thing to look at right now. I think in the future, yes, but right now, not really. If it was limited, I still would go with a limit of a 2. Right? I don't think that's that big of a deal right now, though. Bafuba, still really good for disruption, all that other stuff. Test of Strength, Sun, Goku, and Oob, really good for removal, and as well as getting a 25 or 20 double striker and critical double striker, or critical 20,000 and double striker 20,000, and with the World Tournament Leader Announcer or World Tournament Arena 25, and it's really good as far as that goes, since it is a 0 cost. Both of these guys are really good, just in tandem with the Play Pro, and just really good in mono blue. I mean, I don't think that's an argument, right? Aspiring Intimidator Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, still really good against aggro decks, still really good in super blue green Vegito, or blue green Soul Striker. And just in general, like, this still is really good card. It's just good to have it in rest mode with barrier 20,000 and with King Vegeta surprise attack, unbreakable, super combos, whatever, Senzu Bean even. It's really good. Just there you go. Otosuki. So this is the staple only because like Trunks is obviously a staple with him because you need him, but this is a staple because for him you get to play him for free if you have Trunks on the board. He's a 4 cost for 15k, and you get to attack with him, and then with Trunks's ability you can get to send him to your deck, I do believe, and then KO a card. So this with the Hercule and as well as other blue playing World Tournament leaders, there you go, and announcer, because this is colorless or no specified cost, it is really good for anything free. Like when you're thinking of anything free, it's automatically good, but because of those sort of things that come with it, I think it's really good in that sort of space. Zeno still again, just like aggro, this kind of checks different sort of decks. So like this in tandem with the Kami or correlating with the Kami, I think is super good. Like I'm glad we have both options, right? I don't know if it's super good. Let me back it up. But with Pan, that's why she topped. With a lot of other different things that are coming out with the Shenron leaders, where you can use Child Wish twice in a row with the Dragon Radar and as well as a leader, or multiple cards in the hand, or World Peace or whatever, you can build a board pretty quickly going into turn 3, 4, or 5. And without Zeno and Kami, we wouldn't have those things in check. And those are the reasons why. Like, there's a reason why they keep coming out with cards other than banning. It's just so when different decks are built, you can have answers to those decks. So there you go. Limitless Android 17 and Perfect Force Cell, both of these are pretty much staples still in any Android deck. I think even with Super 17 and as well as the new Android leader types or the new Android cards that are coming out, I think these are still really important. Don't sleep on the Perfect Force Cell. There's no reason to do that. There's no reason to replace it with Super 17. You can still run both. I run both. So far so good. And both of these are really good. Barrier blocker for 25 after 4 or less life with the Android 17 to 18 leader, and then KOing something. So a few changes here, other than the burst attack Gohan still good, Unbreakable still good, chain attack you already know, forcing hit still one of the best red cards in the game, and all of these blue yellow supporting 1-2 swap sort of things going on down here, taking life, ending turns, in conjunction with the Nimbus, still really good, and playing a battle card for combo power, and then searching the top 3. Still think it should be routed to Goku lineage. But now we have Victory Strike. We took Vegas this last, 2 weeks ago, I think? I don't remember. Either way, it took Vegas, Universe 7 Frieza, and it's still a huge threat. Like, even against... The only thing I really think of... I mean, Universe 7 Frieza still has a little bit of issues against Swap, or Rudigon Swap, maybe even Aggro. So I mean, that's the only thing I can really think of. Flying Nimbus and as well as other negates and objection helps a lot with it. And if you haven't checked out the gameplay with the Universe 7 winner, or Frieza player winner in Vegas, go check that out, because it was actually a pretty good game against Announcer. And these are going to be popping up a lot more. So be prepared and fix your deck with barrier blockers or something to Crusher Ball it or something, you know, Mafuba. There's a lot of different things that you could be going against Victory Strike, and as well as the whole plan. So just remember, again, Crusher Ball, just watch out for the bad ring. Mafuba, watch out for the bad ring. Barrier blockers, can't really do anything about that. That's again, it's good that we have those checks there. And then who's it? The only thing that you have to really worry about is taking the damage from the other 8-drop, the green 8-drop SR, in which has triple attack critical for 30,000-40,000, and as well as the Frieza. So those are really the two backup plans. And if you're running Mafuba, then majority of the time you're going to be okay. And if not, you're going to have a barrier blocker, which is why Red Blue Pan is really good, because both of those things have Fearless Pan, or both. That deck has Fearless Pan and as well as Mafuba. You can run both. And then lastly is Hidden Power East Supreme Kai. This is just the replacement for Champa. In worst case scenarios, instead of 3, it would be 2. Yes, he is searchable by God, but this guy is searchable by World Tournament. So the announcer, ever curious, can look at the top 7 and choose one. Really, really good for Hercule, because you know, just to end games, Champa / Kai is super, super important. Plus you get the draw on it, so that's still good. And then worst case scenario, it is a 2 red instead of 3. 2 red for Champa. Worst case scenario, you can play it. And that's really worst case scenario, like really, really worst case scenario, you know what I'm saying? That's pretty much it. I don't think I really missed anything. Let me take a look real quick at the endings, or the decks here for Vegas and as well as AC. The card dominance, which is where I kind of get a lot of the ideas and different things for the meta staples, kind of match that, and this is directly from the top 32, and taking that data from it. So if you haven't checked this out, it's on their webpage, and you can go ahead and just scroll down to the bottom. It's right there. Like you can just go ahead and take a look there. Same thing for the AC events. For, you know, the super combos is not that big of a deal. Same thing, and this is only 74% participants. That's a huge thing to kind of watch out for. That's pretty much it. Look at that. 9 Hercules. That's just ridiculous. I would go through all this and as well as a deck list, but they're really kind of outdated outside of for the release tournaments, or not the release tournaments, but the shop championships, and as well as today is the Texas ERG or Core CCG tournament. So not really too relevant. I just wanted to go through this, talk through it, see what you guys think, as well as make sure I have this as reference when we go into the new meta going into set 5. So yeah, let me know what you think. Like, dislike, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in the next one. Later.